Hi, I'm Sarah and I am going to show you how to make crisps, potato chips, whatever you call them, in the microwave. I experimented with this quite a while back actually, and it's been a while since I did it. I had a trial run this morning to remind myself how I did it. Oh, I scoffed a lot. Fortunately, you can only make them in reasonably small batches. So this is really simple. I will show you the basic recipe for how to do it, and then I will show you how to do it salt and vinegar. Argue with me if you will, hate me if you must. Salt and vinegar rules. You need to chop the potatoes really, really thin. I have found the easiest way to do that, excuse the fact that it's grubby, I've just been using it for that purpose, is with this side bit of your grater. Alternatively, a potato peeler, shunk, shunk, shunk. Alternatively, a really, really sharp knife. Now, you're not going to get perfect circles out of doing it this way with your grater, but who wants perfect circles? You just want yummy chippies. Now, as you're doing it, I've just quickly done half the potato. You want to put those slices immediately into some really cold water, because as soon as you cut into a potato, it releases starch, and you want to get rid of as much of that starch as you can to help it go nice and crispy. Of course, you can leave the skin on, or you can peel the skin off if you want to, but the thing is, if ever I have to peel a potato for something, which is very rare that I do that, I'd actually always just peel the skin off, toss them in a bit of oil and salt, and put them in the oven and grill them up to make chippies with anyway. So needless to say, you can also do this in the oven. It doesn't have to be microwave. I might do that as well actually. I'll do that as well for you. Right. Put these in water. Make sure they've all had a good soak. You don't really need to give them a soak for any great length of time, but now you need to dry them. You can do this on a paper towel if you want, but I'm happy enough just to do it on a dry, clean tea towel. So it's gonna, you can either, you can leave them out on the bench to dry if you want, but just get another tea towel, give it a really good pat. The drier they are, the better this will work. Now, the ones I'm putting in the grill, I've actually just put a little bit of oil around my oven tray. I'm going to sprinkle some salt directly onto here, put the chippies face down, and then I'm going to brush the top of them with oil and salt. The ones I'm putting in the oven, some people, in fact most recipes I've seen for this involve putting a paper towel down and putting the chippies on top of it. Now, what I've actually found though is that they always stick to the paper towel. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong there, but they always stick to it. And then you try to peel them off and you end up eating half a paper towel. I just put a little bit of oil on there. That was more than what I intended. Smoosh it round, and I pour a bit of that back onto the oven tray because that needs it more than the plate does. You don't really need that much. Just got overexcited. Thinking about chippies. I'm going to put a bit of salt on the plate because of course that will put oil and salt onto the bottom of your chippies. I'm going to fill the plate up. You can't overlap them. They do need to be absolutely sitting separately on the plate. Just going to brush them with a bit of oil. You do need oil on both sides. Put your salt on, however much salt you put it on. The amount of time that's required in the microwave will vary depending on your microwave. My go-to is to put it in for 3 minutes and then take it out and just check. Does it need another minute? Does it need another 30 seconds? It seems to vary a little bit depending on the thickness of the potatoes that you've cut. So I'll put it in for 3 minutes, have a check. If they are still not quite crunchy, often they do crisp up a little bit if you just leave them out for a minute, and they will crisp up. So I'll put these in for 3 minutes, see how we go. Pop some in the oven too. Similar to the ones I put in the microwave, you want to spread them out. Ideally, don't get too fussy about it. You don't really want them overlapping. We're bound to get the odd one there, but You don't have to be quite as fussy when you're putting them in the oven. Put the salt on the top. And I'm just going to chuck those into grill at about 175 degrees, and we'll see how long that takes. Now that we've got a couple of experiments on the go, I'm going to start getting down to the business end of this, salt and vinegar. Instead of water in here, I'm going to put white vinegar. You can also use malt vinegar, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm going to use white. Actually, you know what? I got some white wine vinegar as a bit of a freebie from the Countdown Bunch Club the other day, so I'm going to use that. The ones going in the vinegar, you want them to soak up that lovely vinegar flavour. So you actually want to leave them for a good 10 minutes in the vinegar so they can be soaking up that flavour. Alright, confession time. I just had to carry on my experiment a little bit because unlike the last batch, which I did literally, I only did them like an hour ago. And I put them out and they crisped up beautifully. These ones did not. So I put the paper towel on the plate, put them back on the plate, put them in the microwave for 30 seconds. And beautiful. Hear that? Crispy. Yummy. Go figure. Maybe there is something in the paper towel. As I say, it will depend depending on your microwave, whether or not you have a paper towel. I've done it successfully without, but for some reason that time, maybe it just needed the extra 30 seconds. So, now I'm going to show you the salt and vinegar version. These are so Moorish though, these salt and vinegar ones. Same story. Right. Everything else, just do the same thing. Bit of oil. I might actually have gone overboard with the oil on the bottom of the plate. I wonder if that's why they didn't dry out quite as quickly. I've put a bit less on this time. Could have even been with my last batch. I just didn't dry them off that thoroughly. I have no problem showing you guys my mistakes. You may learn from my mistakes. All is well that ends well. I still had some yummy chippies at the end of it. Salt on. Into the microwave. I'm just going to put these straight in for 4 minutes. It's snowing outside. Sorry, I'm easy distracted. It's snowing. Yay! Once it came out there, I let them crisp up a little bit too much, I think. But I suppose that's where the microwave's good. You know, you can control it easier. Still, hey, the kids will still eat them, I guarantee it. You will need a cloth or oven gloves, by the way, because that plate gets really, really hot. Just going to chuck them onto here so they can cool down a wee bit. Cool down and have a quick crisp up, although they're already looking reasonably crispy. So I had them in for 4.5 minutes. Now sometimes, especially if you've sliced them a little bit thicker, it might even pay to turn the chippies over. Sometimes I've had to do that, but no, those are just lovely, crunchy. Oh yeah. Well, you can taste that vinegar flavour coming through. I actually much prefer the brown malt vinegar, but that's a personal preference. That's just personal flavour preference. But I can, the flavour of that vinegar is really good. Oh yeah, that is good stuff. Sorry, salt and vinegar wins over plain chips hands down any day. If you give this a go, I'd be interested to see if anyone wanted to have a play with maybe using some dried chicken stock or something like that and make chicken flavoured ones instead of the salt. I'm not quite sure if that would work. It might do. But yeah, soaking them in the vinegar definitely infuses that flavour, and I guess the longer you soak it, the more intense that flavour will be. And if anything, I'd soak it for a bit longer. I only had them in there for about 10 minutes. But you can definitely taste it. They're so crunchy. No, they are beautiful. I think I actually dried them off a bit better than my first batch. Hence why they crisped up so much easier. Do this, people. Down below, hit that like button. Leave me a comment. And subscribe. Make some chippies. Cause, yum. Bye.